Mourning Cross, a new way to help families and mourners as they pay respect to the departed, reviving an age-old practice. Stephen McClelland talks to Kate Hamilton and Joanne Callum from Mourning Cross.
Kate, tell me why and how you came up with the idea.
We came up with it, Stephen, as a result, first and foremost, of our own family experience. And we were having a conversation one night, and my sister had been at her colleague or work colleague's grandmother's wake. And when she came home, she was explaining how embarrassing and how uncomfortable she felt because she didn't know anybody else in the room and she wasn't able to pay her respects to anybody else. So the conversation went on, and whenever we got talking, we found out that we all had a story about different times where we walked into a wake and a funeral and didn't know anybody. So we decided that we needed to do something about it. So we thought that we would develop something that would support all the people who are coming to your house through what is a very, very difficult time, and they're your neighbours and they're, you've work colleagues, you've people travelling maybe to attend a wake and a funeral. So we thought it would be really, really nice if people could just walk into the room and identify who they need to go over and pay their respects to. We also talked about the stories that are told about the deceased and how beneficial it would be if they knew that they could come over and speak to me and tell me something about my father that maybe I didn't know about. So we developed the cross and the circle to address that.
Joanne, you're holding the cross. Tell me about how it's made.
It's a black stainless steel cross with a glossy finish and a dove motif in the centre. It's presented on an A7 card with the poem on the back entitled It's My Time by Jackie Newcomb.
The funeral directors offer the symbol when making the funeral arrangements. How are the families receiving it?
The families are receiving it very well because they've been in the position themselves, having attended wakes and funerals, and understanding the embarrassment that it is whenever you walk in, and for all the different reasons you may not recognise all of the family. So for example, if children have grown up, people have moved and all across the world, so you may have visitors coming back just to attend the wake and funeral. So it's very, very beneficial whenever you walk in and you can identify immediately the family members that you need to pay your respects to.
Do you find the symbols are used more in the towns and cities than in the rural areas?
No, what we find is that they're used equally as much in cities and as in rural communities. I think everybody just identifies with the whole need for it, so it's not that it's a geographical thing. And I think the people in rural communities understand whenever they go to wakes and funerals that really it's just because they may not know all of the families and children have grown up and people have changed just over the years. I think we're less connected than we used to be, and for that reason we don't see our neighbours as much as we should, and the same with family and friends. So the cross then, what it does is it makes it easier, if you like, that you can walk into a room and just say, oh, that is Stephen, he might have changed over the years, but it definitely is him. So thankfully the rural areas use them just as much as the urban areas.
Joanne, do the families keep the cross and circle after the funeral?
Yes, Stephen, the families keep the cross as a keepsake, and they get a lot of comfort from the poem later on after the funeral.